station of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Oh, look who we have.
It's a beautiful day. Get our man, Jim from Minneapolis. We're going to take it by storm.
Taking it by storm, baby.
I love that. That's a great saying, man. Hey, what's happening, brother?
Good morning, gentlemen. How you guys doing today?
Good, man. Yourself?
Oh, man. It's been the most incredible couple of days since when I called in on Friday, Litecoin busted out of that consolidation on the 2-hour chart.
Okay.
And it just never looked back. It did a 100-point ABC up, and now it's very extended the way I look at it. But holy tomo! I mean, it went up to $420 last night.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
Okay, folks, this is Larry Pesavito sitting in for the master himself. I get to play Ed McMahon today. Johnny Carson is on for a break. We'll have Basil on in just a little bit, but I'd like to start out with the airline stock. You'll notice American Airlines down here has been decimated. Folks, we've had a major shift in what's happening in our travel plans, and I don't know whether this virus thing is going to get worse or not, but a lot of people are absolutely petrified about it, and probably should be, especially if you're over the age of 70, which I have passed many years ago. I want to share with you my 2 cents worth on what I think is happening in the market. The next chart I'm going to show you is something you don't see very often, and that is the New York Stock Exchange Index. Used to be called the KNIFE. It was traded as a future, and then it just literally didn't trade after a future. Much after the crash of 87, I believe, it started to dissipate, and then it just disappeared. But the index itself is used to calculate mutual funds and stuff like that. But the key here is what happened last Thursday. You'll notice that we were at 105.75. We had completed what we call a perfect ABCD pattern. Those of you that follow Tom O'Brien certainly know what that is. And it was right at an exact 382 retracement, signifying that you had been in a 2-week correction, stopping exactly at the 382 retracement. And that, folks, is flat out bullish. You just can't stand in front of that one. So when I wrote the letter this past weekend, I said, gee, this thing has a chance to really go higher unless we take out those lows. And of course, you saw what happened Monday with the largest single tick indication since 1997. The positive ticks were higher than at any time since that time in 1997. And I believe that was the time that I think Greenspan and Rubin and the triumvirate with Larry Summers were dropping interest rates, but I can't remember the exact date. But that's why this market is acting so bullish. Overall, when you look at it, we've done nothing more than make a 50% retracement so far. Of course, the NASDAQ has gone absolutely crazy, and that's one of the things that I wanted to share with you this afternoon when I have you on the line here. We'll show you the big ones in the NASDAQ because we have new highs just approaching us now in Amazon. That's around that 25-30 level, up another 50 points or so. It's going to hit a big 1.618 expansion. We're already past the double top today, so that's another reason why the NASDAQ was so very, very strong. And the next one, if we'll take a look at, I think we'll look at Softy next. And here comes Microsoft. You'll see even Microsoft is approaching the old highs. Now remember, folks, these FANG stocks, that's a big part of the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is basically Apple and Microsoft. That's 20% of that NASDAQ index. So you look at 2 stocks and you've covered 20% of the thing. So if you're thinking of selling something, always sell the weakest and buy the strongest. That goes back to Jesse Livermore, and you certainly want to pay attention to him. Let's take a quick look here. Maybe we have a guest calling in today. We do. It's from Niagara Falls. Mike, what are you doing, my friend? What can I do for you?
Yeah, thank you for taking my call, Larry. Southwest announced that they may have experienced a pandemic bottoming process because they're now receiving more bookings and cancellations. So could you look at, say, the Amex Airline Index XAL or JETS, which is a ETF, and just tell me, look on the daily versus the weekly, the charts there, are they bottoming?
I don't know if they are or not, Mike. I'll tell you, I did the American airline ones. I don't do XAL because I don't do those ETFs. Of course, I've known you for quite a while, but I just don't do those XA. I think I had that Jets thing for you, though. I sure do.
Okay.
I posted that one already. Here's the American Airlines. Yes, they are making some type of a bottom down here. American Airlines has gone from 31 down to 10, the low being 8.5. So it's some type of a bottom in here for sure. But it's much better to buy it here at 9 than it was at 31, Mike. That's about the only thing I can say about it. The downside on this is $8. If you go below $8, then there's something wrong. That's it. So
okay, that's on American Airlines. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this? Say the market, the seasonality factors now. We're going into a 3-day Memorial Day weekend. Say Friday closes ugly, and you're short. As a bear, would you just continue holding the short over the long weekend?
Well, the odds of the market being right before a holiday, the odds of the market being down that day is better than, only 25%. In other words, it has a 75% chance of being up on the day before the holiday. So I would use that as a gauge. But by the same token, Mike, you make a good point. If we're down on the day before the holiday, that is bearish. So that's one of those situations, that'll do it. Hey, Mike, let's take a deep breath here for a second. Let me explain to you, after watching these markets since 1959, when I bought elastic stop nut for $2.50 and held it for 2.5 months and sold it for 10. That was my very first trade. Look what we've gone through, folks. Mike, we've lost 33 million jobs. Okay, they put $3 trillion into the economy. We've never seen things like this. We live in interesting times, which is the Chinese curse. So hey, listen, when we got down to 2,100 in the S&P after being at 39, and change, 29 and change, something changed because, we were getting more bearish news all the time, and the market started rallying. And you can see what's happened. We've rallied back, 80, 90% in the FANG stocks and these others. And the overall stock market's rallied back 50%, and the S&P's back 61%. So, you got to respect that. But by the same token, it's overbought by now. So the slightest bit of bearish news may have a factor. I don't know. But the news certainly follows the trend. You can see, what's happened. By the time this last thing came out with the possibility of this vaccine, the market had its biggest day in many, many years. The Dow up 1,020 or something. And,
right.
I mean, it was advanced decline lines. I don't think they had any declines that day, but that's...
was it 9 to 1?
Yeah, it was huge. That's for sure. So that my opinion is to follow the charts and don't pay attention to what these dudes are telling you on the TV, because I don't believe any of them, and I haven't for a very, very long time. So that's my 2 cents worth, my friend.
Okay. Thank you very much.
But it's much better to buy the airlines here than it was at 31. That's my prognosis. Hey, we'll take a little break here. Larry Pesavento setting in for the master himself, Tom O'Brien.
Folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks. The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The gold report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Larry Pesavento is hosting a special event Thursday, May 21st from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Trade What You See, a live trading event. For the first time in over 10 years, Larry will host a live event where you'll watch over his shoulder as he trades the markets live. You'll see how he organizes his trading day, the times most likely to generate a signal, what outside information he ignores, and more importantly, what he does not ignore, and much more. Larry will trade the markets in real time, including the Euro US dollar, pound dollar, dollar yen, the Dow, and E-mini S&P, crude oil, gold, treasury bonds, wheat, and soybeans, and more. When you sign up, you get a month of his daily newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7 included. For all the details on Larry Pesavento's live trading event on Thursday, May 21st, and to sign up today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Hey, Basil Chapman, what's going on?
Hi, Larry. How are you doing?
Basil, I got a calculator here, and by the little numbers on my calculator, between you and I, we're looking at about 105 years of market experience, and even I think that's a little shy. We're going to need more given the volatility we got going on here.
And how many charts would you say? A million?
I really don't know. It's probably close to that because, you stop and think I do many a day. And
right.
actually,
it's 3 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever they are. It just adds up.
Yeah, there has to be quite a few. But
I can imagine that a lot of people are really looking forward to getting your experience, your years of experience with your all-day workshop, webinar actually on Thursday. It should be absolutely fabulous. If I get a chance, I'm popping in whenever I can.
Well, I hope so. I haven't done one of these in about 12 years, but I do enjoy it. The question is if I can keep that energy level up for 7 hours, which I think I can because I don't have to worry about, what I look like or what I'm wearing. That takes about 80% of the pressure off. Basil, what do you think? What do you think's going on here with some of these NASDAQ stocks almost ready to break out at a new high ground?
So this is something interesting. I sat in for Tom O'Brien with Tommy Jr. this morning in the 10 o'clock show, and we were discussing things. And I said, if you look at what's going on, if I had to go to the QQQ, which is the NDX 100, and you look at this monthly chart, I use a series of notation where I use the alphabet A to G, and I alphabetize. I count the waves on the upside. When it gets to the fourth highest wave, A, B, C, D. D is where other things can happen. The daily is in leg D right now. The last time the Qs went to, that was an E, the fifth highest peak back in February. And the monthly chart did an E, and it went from 237.47 in February to a low, and this is incredible, to a low of 164. And that was in March, in 2 months. And now it's run back, and we're at 228. So you're within 9 points of an all-time high. So what I was saying to Tommy Jr. this morning is, as far as I can see, I feel so stupid. I've got dozens and dozens of books, and I've been studying the 1929 crash through the 1932 and the whole of the 1930s. I've just got books, and I've got microfiche from the library on the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal of that period. And what happens is the market gets taken down by a virus, not an economic event, not the excessivity, I call it excessivity, of skyscrapers being announced, of the brokerage stocks reaching all-time highs, of everybody, wherever you go, talking about the stock market. This is the quietest mega bull market we've ever had. No one was talking about the stock market, and suddenly the Dow drops 39%. 39%. And it did it because of something else. So I was talking to Tommy about this, and I think what we're looking at is this comeback with Walmart, with Home Depot. These are 21st century companies. And the demonstration I gave was, if you look at the RTH is the Van Eck Vectors ETF, the retail ETF. It's within a few points of its all-time high. But the real XRT, the S&P retail, is way off the high in the 54 area. It's way off. Why? Because of one little stock, a little baby stock some people might have heard of. It's called Amazon. So Amazon is in one. You've got two ETFs called retail ETFs. One has the 21st century products, and the other one has the old bricks and mortar. And I think that's what we're looking at. We're looking at a market that has been taken down, and I can't call it accidental. It happened, but it was an aborted major bull market rally. And my big thing is, are we in a new era? Are we going to start bringing factories and things back to the United States? Are we looking at something different? These are things we can only ponder. We can't really answer. So to answer you about the difference, if you're looking at the stocks that are still viable, they're still really important to the economy that we've got, you've got to be thinking modern technology. If you're looking at something else, there's a different perspective, and that's why you've got this divergence. This is why you've got this tale of two cities. You've got modern and you've got old. And that's to me, I think that it took a long time for me to figure that one out. But I think that's really what we're looking at.
Basil, that's an incredible description. It really is. You've got two different markets. They've got the new version of retailing. Basil, you and I have been around for a long time. I remember when Montgomery Ward was the leader of the pack, and they were way ahead of Sears.
So Larry, think of this: Sears and Roebuck did exactly in the early 1900s what Amazon is doing now. You remember they had that thick book that went out to everybody, and
the
people
catalog,
could order.
You bet.
So when people about 15 or 16 years ago were saying to me when the Prius came out, oh my God, it's the end of automobiles as we know it. It's going to be I said, you know what? Go back in history. Look at the camera back in the 1880s and then the 1920s. Look at electricity. It takes 50 to 70 years to become part of the infrastructure. And these things take time. And that's why I'm saying that maybe this is a trans. And if you look at every century, the turn of the century, whether it's looking at Claude Debussy or Stravinsky, if you look at music, if you look at art, Picasso, there's a change going from the late century to the beginning of the new century, and then it takes a long time for that to be fulfilled. Same with automobile. If you look at there's Greek mythology. I think it's Jason and the magic fleece or something. Think of the world being wrapped around, instead of a fleece, it's being wrapped around by asphalt. So think about that. There was just bare soil in the early 1900s, and by 1928 there were 4 million cars on the road. And we're in that period now, growth period, incredible period.
Yeah, there were 2,000 automobiles in 1929 that were operating out of the United States, and we ended up with 3 in 1976.
Yeah, 2,000 automobile companies, correct. I was pointing that out to someone just recently. And in fact, I asked Kevin earlier this morning when we were with Tommy, we were talking about the retail sector, and Kevin Hinks, I asked him the question. I said, just as you had Mobil and Chevron, you had all the other big oil companies turn out to be maybe 3 in the end. The same thing with insurance companies, with whatever it is. Are we looking at retail now that we're just going to get 3 or 4 really big ones? So this is a very interesting period. I mean, I think it's a very exciting period. Even though there's a horrible pandemic going on, I think it's actually a very exciting period.
Well, it's certainly exciting. I have to say that because, I've lived through a lot of these different things, and I thought 9/11 was about the worst thing that could happen to us other than some type of a nuclear holocaust. But to see they could shut the world down in a matter of about 4 or 5 weeks, I never thought that could happen. And they did it, I'm talking about all the countries, they did it very efficiently. But you stop and think, we got 7 billion people that stopped. I mean, that's just amazing.
Absolutely.
Isn't it, Basil?
Never seen that before. It's just incredible. The speed with which it happened. So good luck with your webinar. I think.
Thank you very much, and Basil, my check's in the mail, my friend. Enjoy.
People are going to get a treat from you. Thank you very much.
All right, Basil Chapman, folks. We'll be right back with more of the Tom O'Brien Show after the words of our sponsor.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today. TFNN has developed a daily programming lineup for traders by traders. We start every trading day live at 8:30 a.m. with Tommy O'Brien hosting the morning market kickoff as he starts the day off by breaking down everything you need to know about what's going on for the trading day ahead. At 9 a.m., Larry Pesavento takes your calls and questions live on the air for the opening bell as he hosts Trade What You See. At 10 a.m., Tom and Tommy O'Brien host the Bull Bear Trading Hour. At 11 a.m., it's Kevin Hinks and Alex Coffey from TD Ameritrade Network with Fast Market, Basil Chapman at noon with the Tiger Technicians Hour, Steve Rhodes hosts the Trader's Edge at 1 p.m., Dave White with the Power Trading Hour at 2 p.m., and Tom O'Brien closes out the day for the final hour of trading live from 3 till 4. Don't miss a second of our daily programming lineup. Tune in to Tiger TV every trading day live at TFNN.com. Educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I wanted to continue on with the FANG stocks. I posted Facebook up there, of course. We've also shown you Amazon, Microsoft. The next one we want to look at, of course, here is one of the big daddy rabbits, which is Netflix, which is going absolutely nuts to the upside. We're hitting a major 1.618 expansion up here today at $457 a share. Now, that may or may not stop the market, but this has had one heck of a run. Stop and think where it was, folks. Back on March the 13th, we went from 290 to 455. That's a huge, huge move. And so we're seeing some of these because many people are stuck at home. Sarah and I have been here this is our 8th week. We've literally, other than to go out shopping, our first day was Saturday. We went to visit our friend up in Scottsdale, Byron, and we noticed that the casino was open on the way home. So I said, let's go see if there's anybody there. And it's the second largest casino in Arizona. And sure enough, it was open and doing business. The poker room was closed, but the slot machines were working. There was, for every 3 slot machines, there were only 2 patrons. There had to be space in between. Many of the people, of course, are over 70 in this area up in here, so there were quite a few there. Half of them that were wearing masks, half of them weren't. And believe me, folks, the traffic was like Easter Sunday. I mean, it was totally packed. I mean, it was just like nothing had happened. Now, I'm anxious to see if we have any increases in responses here to this, but being hot like it is here at 100 degrees, maybe that'll cut it back a little bit. But that's a big turnaround from where we were just last week. And our casinos here in Tucson are opening here next Friday. Now, how long they stay open, I'm not sure, but you know what, folks? Nobody else is either. That's the thing that you have to remember, that's what's going along here. Now, we've taken a look at Netflix. I wanted to show you, of course, I've already shown you Facebook. I'm trying to find Apple in here. I know I have it somewhere, and here it comes. We'll do Google before we do Apple. So we'll be the casino's not. The casinos are quite comfortable, Bill. Okay, you'll notice that the Google made a 78% retracement. It's actually the weaker of all the FANG stocks. It happens to be the weakest of all those FANG stocks. So we'll remember that as we look at these. Now here's the biggest stock of all, of course, which is Apple. We're very, very close. We're just about ready to take out the highs that we made last week. And that probably will happen in the next few days, and then we'll see what happens to this, the rest of these. So those are the main ones that we're looking at here in the FANG stock. So it's just basically looking at the charts. The old rule is you always want to buy the strongest and sell the weakest. That's the bottom line of what we're going to be looking at. Now, there's another one. I need to talk about the gold market because I know Tom talks about gold quite a bit. I want to bring up this is the GDX, which is the Gold Miner Index. This is similar to the XAU, which is also breaking out into new high ground again, which is usually quite spectacular to see the miners doing as well as they're doing. But let's take a quick look here at what's happening in the actual market, in the futures market for the gold market. Now you'll notice gold, we have not quite taken out the high, but this is some interesting information on a statistical basis. You'll know here where the blue arrow is, I put that in. Those are the large speculators. And you can see the large speculators have reduced their positions in gold ever since it had its sell-off down to $1,400. They've not participated in this last $300 rally. Now, if you look at the bottom arrow, that's the open interest. And you can see the open interest has started to drop. Well, when open interest is dropping and prices are going higher, that's short covering. That's not new buying coming into the market, and that is usually not a very good sign. Now, let's test that theory. I want you to go over into the left side of the chart when you can see where there was no arrows over here, but you'll notice when gold was trading at around $1,350, this was back in April of 2018, gold went from $1,350 all the way down to $1040. Went all the way down to $1040. It dropped $200 an ounce. And go to the bottom of the chart, and you'll see open interest was decreasing all during that time. And if you look at the large specs are decreasing all during that time. So we're seeing the same thing now that we saw in April. Now, does it mean anything? I don't know, but it's an alert system. It's basically you're trying to read what the market is trying to tell you, and that's what we're looking at when we watch these statistics. Open interest is for every buyer, there has to be a seller, and that's how these markets move up. If markets go up, and the sellers drop off, that means open interest decreases, and that is a bearish phenomenon. It means that bulls are not coming into the market. They're here today, but they might be gone tomorrow. So those are things that you better pay attention to if you're going to trade that gold market, because it is quite expensive to do this. So the other thing I wanted to mention to you, since I don't get a lot of you folks because you're listening to Tom all the time, and I've been in the commodities business for a very long time, we're going to start to see, and we've already started to see it, some real really, really big increases in the price of hogs and cattle, and it's not because there's a shortage of them; is that they just can't get these hogs to market, and the people are dying because that was looking at that. Okay, now Mr. Z is asking a question. Do I see a topping pattern in the NQ? I did the other day, but it's not doing that. Let me show you, folks. This is a very interesting question that John poses, because I wanted to show you this. I'll do it two ways. First, I'll show you this was the 4-hour chart. Let's get this up here from Friday, and I alerted everybody to this because you can see that I hope that chart posted. Doggone it. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. Did it not post? No, it didn't. Just one second, folks. There we go. That's what we were looking at on Friday. And I said, because of the way that market stopped on the 14th, you know that it stopped at the exact 61% retracement. And when that was doing that, the S&P 500 was stopping at exactly the 382 retracement. Folks, that's not bearish at all. That's very, very bullish. And that's what led to what we were thinking was happening, which was this very big 3-drive to a top pattern. And I'll post it right now so you'll be able to see it. And what we've done now is we have exceeded that top, and we've gone up to 94, I think at 94.15, I think is what it hit today, up about 90%. So that 3-drive pattern worked for about 200 points. Actually 300 points, but then the market came back and took it all back. So what it's done now is made a 4th top. So whether that means anything or not, I don't know. But you're only seeing the only part of the market when you're looking at the NASDAQ, folks. You're only looking at about, stop and think of it. You got Microsoft and Apple is 20% of the index. My goodness, there's no other index in the world that does. Well, there probably is, but I don't know what it is. But that's why you're watching it. So I do not trade the NASDAQ very often. That's for sure. But keep in mind, when it happens pretty quickly. And those shorts, when they start to cover, they have to, because of the folks that are doing the program trading. A lot of that action is once these markets start moving, the program traders get on, and they just automatic traders just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and that's that's a major thing to pay very, very close attention to. Let's take a quick look at the Russell, because Basil was mentioning that on the other part of the show. If we look at the Russell index, you'll see it was also making a 61% retracement last Thursday, closing really strong. And now we've gone up, and we're testing the old highs here up around the 1350 level. So that's telling you that there's two different markets. As Basil was saying, it's bifurcated, as Tom O'Brien would say. 877-927-6648.
Larry Pesavento is hosting a special event Thursday, May 21st from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Trade What You See, a live trading event. For the first time in over 10 years, Larry will host a live event where you'll watch over his shoulder as he trades the markets live. You'll see how he organizes his trading day, the times most likely to generate a signal, what outside information he ignores, and more importantly, what he does not ignore, and much more. Larry will trade the markets in real time, including the Euro US dollar, pound dollar, dollar yen, the Dow, and E-mini S&P, crude oil, gold, treasury bonds, wheat, and soybeans, and more. When you sign up, you get a month of his daily newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7 included. For all the details on Larry Pesavento's live trading event on Thursday, May 21st, and to sign up today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Tom O'Brien.
Okay, we're back, folks. This is Larry Pesavento sitting in for the master himself, Tom O'Brien, and we were talking about the FANG stocks and a few other things that are going on in the markets. And I did want to mention a tiny bit about the commodities markets because, you know, we are going to see increases in food, folks, and that's mainly because of the people that are producing it are taking expert, caution. You stop and think, folks. These people that are meat packers and stuff, the death rate on those folks is worse than the one as if you're over 70 degrees. So that's the main thing. I think we have Tom on the line. Are you there, Tom?
Larry Pesavento, what's going on?
Hey, which of your yachts are you on today, my friend? Are you out in the Gulf of Mexico?
Yeah, too funny, man. Hey, listen, first off, thanks for doing the program. And I heard we're going to be doing some live.
Yep, just back in the old days. I haven't done it for 12 years. The last time was with you in Chicago when we had Ed with us, Ed Young.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun. We had some of the floor traders come in. Mark Douglas joined us. It was really a fun couple of days. We really enjoyed that very much. And I'm going to be really busy, but, I'm up a lot. So 7 hours, I'll be able to do that hopefully in a heartbeat and make a few bucks. But, I'm just hoping it's not one of those days where I have an offer when you're 0 for 4, 0 for 5, but it does happen, but not too often.
Well, we get the markets for it. There's no doubt about that. Actually, you're just talking about that commodity market. I think one of the big things for all of us is going to be like, does prices go up and does inflation kick in, right? I mean, it's going to be intriguing, man. Everyone's been looking for this for the last 11 years, and we haven't kicked in. We know that we're pushing a huge amount of cash out. There's no doubt about that. The real question is that, has the crash been so bad that it's just making up for that? Or in fact, price is going to start rising?
Like I was mentioning to Basil, he came on for a little while, and between the two of us, we have about 105 years experience, and we've never seen anything like this. And even going back to the history books, even the pandemic of 1918 didn't do anything like we've done here. Tom, did you ever think they could shut the world down, 7.7 billion people in 3 weeks, and get them to stop? I mean, that to me is just an amazing.
It's interesting when I think about that too. I guess if it started somewhere else and they shut that place down, I think all of us would have had a better heads up, because it's like you had Wuhan, they shut that down. It's okay, that's China. You know what I mean? They're like hard and fast. So it's really intriguing, just the whole deal of it. Actually, last night, this is really wild, man. Now, this hasn't been on I saw this on the Bloomberg last night. So in northeast or northwest China, they actually just shut down 106 million people, in a region. This happened last night. And I'm trying to figure out, it's not like at the top headlines, it's like, okay, but it's there. This is, they basically shut this thing down yesterday. So, this thing is something else, man.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And the problem is, we don't get a lot of, unaudited news. We have China. Tom, when I was in in China in 97 the first time, 96 was the first time, 97 was the second, and I was watching TV, and one of the foreign correspondents mentioned the word Tiananmen, and the TV immediately shut off. And so I called down at the desk, and he said, "Oh, those are key words. When those key words happen, the TV automatically goes off." They don't do that anymore, but if you said words, like massacre, Tiananmen, you were immediately cut off. So it's not free press if we have free press here.
Yeah, no, it's serious business. There's no two ways about that. So what are you going to be looking at in the webinar, Larry, in the live trading event?
Well, I'm going to be focusing on 10 markets. I'm going to pick Microsoft and Apple for stocks, and then I'm going to be looking at the E-mini S&P and the Dow Jones. I'm going to be looking at gold, crude oil, and also the Japanese yen and the Treasury bonds, along with wheat and soybeans. So of those 10 things that I'm watching, I'll probably be able to find 2 or 3 patterns that we think line up pretty good. I'm going to explain why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, what my stop is, the psychology. And each time we do one of these charts, I'm going to copy it and archive it so that it'll be in a file for folks when they want to re-listen to it and, go over, what was happening. Because you can't remember everything in an 8-hour period. You and I know that. But it's going to be very informative. I'm going to share with them the 4 best, in my opinion, my 4 best PowerPoints that I've ever given over the past 40 years. And I've got a special gift for everybody that, joins it. There's a book that I've written with Jay Cross 20-some years ago that we never published about Amos Hofstadter. It's called The Speculator's Legacy. It's about the time that Jay worked with Hofstadter at Commodity Corporation, and then I interviewed Hofstadter's daughter, Janet, down in North Carolina. I spent several hours with her, and she told us stories about her dad and, what he had done and how philanthropic he was and the lives he changed. So that's a great book for people to look at. See, it's really good. But it's going to be fun. I'm going to keep everybody working hard. It'll be a fun day.
Gotta love it. Well, listen, man, we appreciate all the work you do, and no doubt I look forward to the program tomorrow and the workshop on Thursday, Larry. Thank you.
Still living the dream, Tom. Keep the faith.
That's right, man. That's right. Have a great one, man. Have a safe one.
Be safe. Okay, folks, let's get back to the markets here. We're selling off now. We've gone from 29.60 at the start of the show all the way down to 29.30, and the S&P we're trading at 29.30 right now, dropped about 30 handles. Remember the highs that we made yesterday in that S&P. Let's just sit up here so the folks can take a quick look at it. We'll get the daily up here so you'll be able to see it. We're just back to that same area where we were just a few weeks ago. We just re-entered that 61% retracement. We did not take out the highs of April the 29th, folks. We missed that by about 10 or 12 points. Not too far away, though, but that came very, very close. But we'll see if that's often, if that happens very often, so we'll be able to do that. I don't know, most of you folks don't know who I am if you're on the Tom Show, but one of the segments I'm going to be covering tomorrow is going to be on cryptocurrencies and blockchains, because there's some interesting things happening there with the fact that, blockchain has started this halving situation. Believe me, this is not a easy subject, but it's like looking at the internet in 1986, and it didn't come out till 1996. So this is going to be big stuff, folks. You got 5,100 companies out there vying for the big prize, and the question is, who's going to get it and why? Right now, in the Bitcoin and the statements for, or the market for the cryptocurrencies and blockchains, between Bitcoin and Ethereum, that's 87%. But let me tell you something here that people don't realize. This cryptocurrency market, folks, is around $200 billion. To give you an example, that's 20% of the valuation of Apple. So what happens if this starts to get interest and people start coming in for it? How are they going to? How is $200 billion going to fit through the gate? It's not. That means there's going to be a lot more money coming in, and that's why we need to pay attention to it now. We're in the beginning stages of it, because you've got to be a little bit clever here. Fortunately, we got some people on our backside looking after us. We'll be right back, folks. Just the end of the show here pretty soon. 877-927-6648.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Okay, we're back, folks. Larry Pesavento setting in for Tom O'Brien. The market's heading towards the lows of the day here. S&P's now down from 29.59 when we started this program. We're now at 29.22. The Dow's down more than 350 points from where we started, so something's selling. Folks, I posted a chart here of the Treasury notes. As you can see here, this is a long-term chart. You can see the resistance at the 78% level. This is Tuesday this week, Monday and Tuesday. We've been down sharply. I've had a little bit of a rally today towards the end of the day with the market selling off, but the bonds and notes have sold off quite a bit. Folks, if anybody tries you to feed the stuff about negative interest rates, that never makes any sense. When I first got my start doing this business really successfully was back in the 60s when I took some silver certificates from my grandfather's brother and turned them in, and I explained to him that he was going to give me a $1 silver certificate certificate, and I was going to give him $2 for that silver certificate in about 2 hours, and he didn't believe me. And I said, well, try it for $10,000. Well, he gave me 10 grand. I went to Indianapolis. I converted it into 34,000, came back, gave him 20, and I pocketed $14,000 myself. And from then on, I started rolling over all of his money, which was a considerable sum, and that's what got me started. But negative interest rates, it's not going to work, folks. Stop and think of it. You have to give someone your money, and you have to pay them for holding it with no guarantee. Boy, oh boy, if that's not a Ponzi scheme, they ought to bring Madoff back because he missed the boat. I just don't trust that one. But the Fed's in there. I don't know what they're doing, how they're doing it, but they're certainly shaking the baloney out of the markets. But we'll do it. They don't have to do much now. All I have to do is say we're going to do it, and that's enough to scare everybody. So remember, the amount of fear that's going on in the markets is the same as what we see in the pandemonium and pandemic thing going on with the virus over here. So that's keep that in mind. Thanks for putting up with me for this hour. Live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.